Good morning from the jungle temple. I don't know if I've ever shown this, but there is a tree carved into my front door here, which is really lovely because my nickname to many people in New Jersey was Tree. So anyway, I just want to show a little bit today about something I've been doing lately because the rainy season just started, and over the past 2 years, I've been planting the middle of my property up with everything, kind of starting from my house and going outward with flowers and fruits and vegetables and a little garden here and things that are essential to me. But what I've been doing this year, because all of that's been planted already and filled up and now it's just got to grow, I've been taking a lot of the things that I've planted that are great for border fences and living walls or living fences out for the extent of my just under 1 hectare property. So it's about 2.5 acres, 2 3/4. And now I'm bordering the entire property with flowers like this, because as you can see, they can weave themselves and kind of create a natural fencing so that animals cannot pass through. And then they grow these beautiful purple flowers at some point, and I have another one that grow these beautiful pink flowers of the same. Let's get some light on them. So anyway, today I'm using these guys here. I'm going to pull these out of the ground actually. And I did one yesterday. And then I cut up all the pieces that I can potentially use. And I slice them on that 45-degree angle. And I put them in a bucket full of water so that they can stay alive. And as you can see, these are still green and blooming, and those ones from yesterday are already withering and passing away. So what I'll then do is I cut pieces so it's somewhat short, and then you have that 45-degree angle there. And sometimes I'll actually scrape about 1/2 inch to 1 inch with a scissor or a little knife, just very lightly, to take the skin off, and that's more likely to root once it goes in the ground. And there's also, I call them medicines and plant foods. It's a little cream that you can buy in most hydroponic stores for transplanting babies. Typically they use it for cannabis, but I use it for my fruit trees. And sometimes for flowers. When I first got the flowers, I would use that. So what I'll do is just drive it into the ground. If the ground's a little hard, I'll take a trowel, this guy actually, and I just pop it in the ground, wiggle back and forth a little bit, create some space, plug the plant into the ground like you're plugging an electrical outlet into the wall, and then I close up the dirt around the bottom of it so that it can feel like it's got a blanket on it or a sweater, and it can grow comfortably. So I will be doing that today, and I'll record a little bit when I go over there to show you that process that I just explained a moment ago. But I highly recommend doing this around your properties, because you don't have to have metal fences, you don't have to have plastic fences, and it looks beautiful. The most important part that I do all this is pollinators and cross-pollination. So all over my property we've planted fruit trees and herbs and all types of things that we want to grow for future years and utilize here, but I cannot be focusing on all the time as far as providing nutrients to these things. So we have bees, we have butterflies, we have hummingbirds, we have birds themselves that will land on the plants and kind of play with the flowers and shuffle things around and then carry things other places and cross-pollinate all of the fruit trees from all of the flowers that I'm planting. So the more flowers we plant, the better it is for the fruit trees. You understand? Very important. Don't just plant your farm out with fruit trees and expect abundance all the time. You need these cross-pollinators. You need to create an ecosystem that mimics the jungle and the natural forest, but of course it's planted with all the things that you wanted to grow on your property. So anyway, I'll show you that later, and what's going to be really beautiful is in about a year, all of these are going to be 6 feet tall, 2 meters, and they're going to be planted so close together. So I have about, this is like, I don't know, almost, I have a big hand, so like 8-9 inches. So I'm going to plant them about that far apart, like 5-6 inches apart. So from my thumb to my pinky. And as they grow, they'll start to weave in with each other. And I'm gonna do pink, purple. So it creates this like candy-like looking view, but it's also gonna be pollinators. It's also gonna protect my property from unwanted animals and eventually prevent my dogs from leaving the property, and they'll be able to roam all over the 2.5 acres rather than this just the center front part, which is plenty for them because they also have the tennis court as their playground. So anyway, that's what I'll be doing today. I just wanted to share, and hopefully this inspires some of you to do the same and realize that it's not too difficult. And you can work with the plants just like we work with electricity and just like we work with other living beings, because that's what they are. And once you start doing this, you'll begin to understand how to listen to them and what they need and what they want, how much sun, how much water, how much shade, what neighbors they want to have, because based on the success you have growing them, you will notice, and that's a language. So yeah, mindfulness can be really cultivated in the garden. It can help you big time. So like, subscribe, share. If you know somebody that is starting their own garden or permaculture property or food forest, please share this, because it's very important to have those pollinators for cross-pollination present near all your fruit trees and your vegetables and everything that you're trying to grow to eat. Off we go. So it's as easy as that. Little scrape of the bottom, maybe about an inch, and then make sure that angle is nice and cut at 45 degrees. Loosen up the soil a little bit, maybe 2 or 3 inches down, about that much. Drive your plant in there, pack that dirt around it just a little bit, and then maybe in 2 or 3 weeks it's going to start growing roots strong, grip in the ground, and then it will start growing vertically within about a month. So a season from now, this will probably be, those 3 that I planted will be as high as these wood posts. And then because the sun is coming up that way, that's the east, those guys will grow towards the sun. So all the flowers will kind of start tumbling that way, and I'll keep it trim along this fence line so that that weave that goes up, all the intertwined branches will be on this side, and flowers crescenting, almost like a crescent over that way, and acting as pollinators and bringing a lot of beautiful wildlife back into this area. So hope you enjoyed, and I will check in, obviously every few months and a year or so. I do updates around the property, so you'll see this soon. I am actually going to walk over there where I've planted some of the wall. This was about 6 months ago, And you can see that living fence coming up and already creating a corridor over there. So I'll run over there so you can see that. So this gives you an idea of, you know, what it kind of will look like in a few months. And here, yeah, I have them spaced together a little closer. So this is going to create a separation between my personal house property and the rest of these areas that are more communal. And then through the Airbnb spaces. So there you get a good view of it. And got this big long corridor now. Creates more shade and a more advanced ecosystem and all the fruit trees in my house. All right, signing off from me and the rose here. Beautiful, beautiful orangish pink. Until next video, guys, thank you for tuning in.